In the words of Beanie Siegel, once again it's on. Adrien the Problem Bro. Ah, man, you know. AB versus Mikey Garcia. Stay tuned. Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button and also hit the subscribe button for the latest and greatest in boxing. Right now, I'm on Showtime Boxing, their verified Instagram account. And what do we have here? I did a video about this. Showtime Boxing 16 minutes ago. 4-division world champion Adrien the Problem Broner. Oh man, you know, alien batter faces undefeated 3-division champ Team Mikey Garcia at 140 pounds on July 29th. Hashtag Broner Garcia.
Every fight is tough. No matter how easy I make it look or how hard it looks. I'll be ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Adrien the Problem.
This next half of my career, I'm gonna be about boxing, I'm gonna be about business.
I want to be remembered as one of the greatest fighters in this era for fighting the best, beating the best. There's going to be much bigger fights until I have accomplished everything that I want.
It's definitely all up to me because after that bell ring, can't nobody help me.
People can acknowledge and recognize the true talent that I am.
Showtime, let's go, man. You gotta do something, baby. I told y'all, man. And see, I told you guys this year in January, tell the truth. Tell the truth. Some of y'all got mad when I do videos and like, oh, you're just saying that you hate HBO. Why the fuck would I hate HBO when I'm a boxing fan? I call it like I see. Showtime holding the torch. As far as the regular programming, they have better fights, right? HBO does have some good fights. Ward Kovalev 2, pay-per-view. Canelo versus Golovkin, that's another great one, pay-per-view. I'm talking about regular HBO. They've had like Vasyl Lomachenko versus Sosa. We knew what would happen there. David Lemieux versus Curtis Stevens. Hell of a knockout, but a lot of people were leaning towards David Lemieux. Showtime is getting it done, man. And I made a video about this particular matchup, Mikey Garcia, Adrien Broner. I love it. Now, just so you guys know, there's no discrepancies. This fight is at 140. Mikey Garcia fought one time after his long layoff against Elias Rojas at the Barclays. And that was at 140, but then he dropped down to 35. So I give props to Mikey Garcia for being ambitious. He knows if he beats Broner, that's kind of like what Chino Maidana, another person who was fighting out of that gym, beat Broner, right? You see him right there. He said, let's go to work. He's already, looks like he's in shape right now. And Broner's a name, whether you like it or not. He only has 2 losses, and that's just what it is. So I love this fight, and I salute Mikey Garcia because I was at his last fight, and he has business at 35, and he could arguably beat anybody. Obviously, there's some tough fights if he were to fight against Robert Easter Jr. I think that could be a tough fight, things like that. But I mean, I would favor him to beat Jorge Linares, Terry Flanagan. You know what I mean? I think Easter Jr. will probably be the toughest fight. And he's ambitious right now. Instead of just staying there and campaigning or fighting like lower tier guys, I mean, he's moving up to fight a guy like Broner, who does have some skills to offset what he does well. Broner's fought bigger guys. He had bigger profile fights. He's been more active because Garcia was on the sideline for 2 years. And instead of staying there at lightweight, he's defending, and he took the moment. So props to Mikey Garcia for taking that, and also props to Broner. But for Broner, I mean, not that I didn't know Mikey Garcia, but with Broner, he's made it ever so clear he's down to fight whoever, because you don't just jump up 2 weight divisions, fight a champion at the time, Paulie Malignaggi, one of the lighter punchers at welterweight, and then immediately fight Chino Maidana. people forget this. Broner, after the Paulie, he said, "Oh man, you know, I took his belt, took his girl, and you know what? I'm gonna let the fans pick who I fight next." And the fans did a real poll and picked Chino, and he fought Chino. He came up short, showed a ton of heart, and that's just what it is. But he fought Porter, he fought Chino. A lot of people give Broner slack, but you got to give the man credit for what he deserves credit for. You know what I mean? That's just how I see it. So, man, boxing is lit. I don't remember. I think it's pretty unanimous. I don't ever remember a year where all these matches where we're just getting back to back to back. But again, shout out to Showtime because they're putting on fights like this. Errol Spence versus Kell Brook. Meaningful fight for the welterweight division where we've seen a changing of the guards. Errol Spence became a champion, IBF champion, stuff like that. And this is quality fights. These are meaningful fights. I was at Mikey Garcia's last fight, Leo Santa Cruz, Carl Frampton 2 rematch card. And Steven Espinoza says we're letting the air out of the tires on HBO and becoming the premier network for boxing. And it's very evident that in terms of at least their regular programming, they are taking boxing to new heights, and they are definitely, damn, I feel bad for Kell Brook. He looks so deflated right here. But it's apparent that Showtime is taking boxing and breathing life into it and really making that a part of their staple programming. There's other show. I think Jim Carrey has a show that's going to be on Showtime, some comedic show that he's producing, executive producing. They could focus on all those things all day, but they're making boxing a forefront, and they're making boxing a heavy part of their programming. They're not just like, oh, we're just going to look for action fight. That's what HBO is doing to me. They're just looking for what they believe to be pure action fights. But the problem with that is this: some fights that look on paper like they have to provide action. You have 2 Mexican names on Cinco de Mayo weekend, the quote-unquote Mexican dates, and everybody's like, oh, the Civil War, yes, Canelo Chavez Jr. This is what I want to see, Tecate beer, right? And this shit was boring. It was a one-sided beatdown. Shout out to Canelo, right? So that's the thing, man. You can't foreshadow what's gonna happen in that ring. Some people had Errol Spence losing ahead of the fight, before the fight, and he won. So boxing's unpredictable. There's no sure shot anything. You know what I mean? There's no sure shot title defense. There's no sure shot this will be action fights. I've seen fights. This is me back in the day, 2 years ago. Tyson Fury versus Vladimir Klitschko. I really wanted to see that fight. I'm like, man, someone might get knocked out. This is gonna be a good action fight, and it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So you can't predict certain things in boxing. So you just got to put on what you feel are going to be the best fights. Kell Brook, Spence, those are good fights. Mikey Garcia versus Broner. I don't really see anyone complaining because that's a good fight. Should be competitive. Mikey's moving up, which is, aside from Broner's skill, that's a challenge in itself. Because fighting Elias Rojas was not a 140 pounder, FYI. He was fighting at lightweight or something else, and he didn't really have power. Broner does. You know what I mean? And Broner has a lot more. I mean, put it this way. If Broner announced he was fighting Elias Rojas, y'all would pull your damn hair out and say Broner's a cherry picker, right? Now, it made sense for Mikey Garcia because he was coming off a 2-year layoff. But I'm just saying, bottom line is, at 140, Broner would chop up Elias Rojas because he wasn't even a 140 pounder. And ultimately, he's not that good in the grand scheme of elite level talent. You know what I mean? If Broner goes a distance with Marcos Maidana, would he lose to, and Adrien Granados? I was at that fight in Cincinnati. Shout out to the Natty, right? Would he lose to an Elias Rojas? No, of course not. So that's a major jump from Elias Rojas at 140 for Mikey Garcia to Broner. There's a different level of speed, skill, power, and Broner has fought there and even higher than that. Great fight. Shout out to Showtime. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing out.
Look, Mikey's always fight very patiently, and he's always fight very smart in the ring. We are prepared because we know the style that Dejan brings, and this guy is going to come start quick. So we are ready to start quick also, not we're not going to make the fight into a war, but Mikey's going to fight smart. But yeah, we have to be a little bit more busier.
Do you think Dejan's going to look for an early KO?
Well, I think he's going to start from round 1, and I'm sure he's ready for 12 rounds too. And for him, it's not about I have to knock him out in the early rounds. No, for him, he's thinking it could take 12 rounds, but that's what he's going to look for.
There's also talk you might train Chavez Jr. for the Canelo fight. What can you say?
Well, that we haven't talked. We're focused on Mikey for this fight, and I'm sure Chavez knows that too. That's why we haven't even talked. There's been talk with different people. The attorney or the dad or Chavez calling Adrien and telling him that he's going to join our camp. I haven't talked to Chavez right now, so he's probably waiting for Mikey's fight, and I also have to be very careful with my other fighters, my other team, depending on where Chavez wants to train, and the timing that Adrien will be fighting again. Mikey will be back in the ring sometime in the summer, so we got to figure all that. But I'm more than happy.
What do you think about the fight itself?
It's a great fight, man. Especially for all the Mexican fans. It's a fight that the fans want. It's going to be huge, and even though Chavez hasn't looked great in his last few fights, I think this fight has to, it's against Canelo, so there's a big rivalry. The father, the family, they don't want to lose to somebody like Canelo, and Canelo doesn't want to lose to Chavez, so it's going to be a great fight. I think they're both going to be in great shape.
What do you think about the weight, though? Do you think he's going to be able to
I think that he has an advantage, and what I heard with Memo, he had no problem making 67, if I'm not mistaken. So I think 64 he should be comfortable. That's what Memo said, and Memo's really good at that. So if Memo, which I think he will, I think he is going to be in charge of that, then I think Chavez won't have a problem. I think he'll have the advantage.
Knowing his reputation for, avoiding training like he has in the past, does that concern you at all?
Look, I think, like I said earlier, for this type of fights, you have a lot of rivalries in sports, in basketball, in baseball, in soccer, and the team. The teams could be horrible, could be having a bad season, but when they play against each other, when those rivalries are, they give it the best. So I think this is gonna be the same thing. I think Chavez is gonna train hard because he knows that he just can't lose this fight. I'm not saying he's not going. I'm not saying he's gonna win it or he can't lose, but in himself, he's gonna train like he can't lose that fight. It's pride, it's family. It's just so much to lose.
It's a lot on line for his dad, too, from what
exactly.
Chavez Sr.
That's what I mean. So, that's why I'm sure he's going to train very hard for that fight.
Regarding Mikey, you guys are back on a big platform, big card, second premier boxing champs card. After free agency, has Mikey found a home, like a permanent home, like a promotional pack?
Look, I don't think Mikey is even looking into signing any promotional contract. If things are working out like this, being a free agent and just working things out with Showtime, and of course out him, and who opened the doors up to Mikey and gave him the first fight, and Mikey told him, my second fight I want to fight for the world title, and there it is. We're here fighting for the world title. So I think we're going to continue working like that. But when it comes to promoter, we're already working with Richard Schaefer. We could work with Lou DeBella in the East Coast. Mikey could do a co-promotion where he fights somebody from Golden Boy or Top Rank. I think we're in a good position. Why would we sign to a promoter where the promoter might not work with a Golden Boy, or the promoter might not work with a Top Rank? So I think we're doing the right thing.
And not to overlook Dejan, but I heard that a fight that Showtime would be interested in is Mikey versus Broner in the future. Would that be something that you would be open to?
Look, the minute that we started talking to Showtime about Mikey starting, his fights for Showtime, that's one fight that they did mention, and they did tell Mikey, and they told me, and not only Showtime, but also other people involved. They said that's a fight that they want this year, and we're ready for it. We just got to get past Dejan. We can't look past Dejan, but everything goes well. Those are all fights that are possible in the future.